Hi, I'm Joan. I'm a home baker and I've over 55 years experience. I'd like to share some of that with you. I was lucky enough to grow up in Ireland, where everyone and in a family that loved baking especially, but also good cooks. And from a very early age I was introduced to baking and I still love it. I've brought it over my children when they were young. We moved to Scotland when I was 10, so a lot of the cooking and baking was left to me because my parents worked and I was the first to come home. From then I've been baking, my children have baked it at an early age, and now my grandchildren do it. 10 years ago we started our own family bakery, and in the Netherlands and where we live we're very popular. And it's been such a joy to see people enjoying cakes and baking that you make from scratch. And over the years we've had countless people that we've been able to make enthusiasts with our recipes and our products, and I hope to bring a little bit of that over to you. So today I would really like to share with you one of our most popular cakes. This cake I have made in so many different methods, but the one I'm going to share today is, I think, the easiest and always works. So I would like nothing better than you could put this on your table, share it with your friends, with your family, and you've made it all by yourself. So I hope you do this and enjoy it. So we're going to start with the chocolate and the butter, and we melt those in a bowl over a little bit of hot water. And the water shouldn't touch the bottom of your bowl. Just be careful about that. Make sure to let your mixture cool down for 1 or 2 minutes before you add your sugar and your eggs. And now just beat everything together for a minute or so. Don't forget the vanilla. I'm sifting the flour in, but I'm leaving a little bit to put over the frozen fruit before I put them in. That way they won't sink to the bottom. They'll absorb the extra water that's in the frozen fruit. After your flour's in, your baking powder. And just gently fold it in. I'm doing this with a whisk, but you can just as easily do this with a wooden spoon. And your fruit. No mixing, just fold it in till I don't see any flour. And that's all you do. You put it into your prepared baking tins. I have 2 20-centimeter tins. I bake them now for 40 minutes at 170 degrees. Don't forget to always test your cake when it comes out of the oven. If you put your tester in and it's clean, then is it fine. If there's anything sticky on it, put it in for another couple of minutes. This is fine. Then leave it in the tin till it's cool cooled off 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and then take them out of the tin to cool off completely before you put your frosting on. The cakes are baked and now they're cooling off, and then the next step is to make them up with frosting, whatever you like. I'll show you that in the next video. Okay, so now I've shown you how to bake this cake. Now I'll just give you a couple of tips, or maybe explain why I do things. The chocolate and the butter, we melt over a pan of hot water, just with a little bottom of hot water in it and a bowl on top. And it's very important that the water doesn't touch the bottom of the bowl or your chocolate might burn. And it's just on a little heat, because it's the steam that's going to melt the chocolate and the butter. You can also use a microwave, but be careful. Every 30 seconds, have a look and stir it around, and then when it's almost melted, just take it out and stir it for the rest till it's melted, and that way you know you're not going to burn it. You don't need a mixer for this cake. You can, if you have a mixer, fine, but especially for the cake part of this, you don't need a mixer. For the topping, handy if you have one. If you don't, you just need some elbow grease. Years ago we had no mixers, we did everything with a wooden spoon, and we can still do that. So everybody can make this cake. Now we use frozen raspberries here in the bakery because it's just easier, but you can also use fresh raspberries, just as nice, maybe nicer. But if you want to use an alternative fruit, I would stick to the small things like blueberries, blackberries. Strawberries, I'd be very careful, especially if they come out of the freezer, because they have so much liquid in them. But whatever you choose, it's your cake. Make it the way you like it and try all things. I've chosen for a white chocolate topping, so that's the butter and powdered sugar. And first of all, I've sieved this. Make sure there's no lumps in it. Then in the mixer, if you have a mixer. If you don't, make sure your butter's soft enough. And just first make sure these are two mixed together. Make sure when you start this, you start it on a slow speed, because otherwise you'll be cleaning the kitchen all evening. Now add your chocolate and your vanilla when your butter and your sugar is creamy enough. And now you really have to beat it. It has to be soft and creamy now, really creamy. And if you're using a mixer, make sure that you clean the sides of the bowl to get everything incorporated, that nothing stays behind. Don't forget, when you've melted your chocolate, before you put it in, make sure it reaches room temperature, that it's not too hot. Otherwise it may separate. Now you can see the creamy consistency of this. This is just what you need if you're using a piping bag. But if you don't have a piping bag, just take a knife and make a nice even layer on it. With this, please just use your imagination, make your own thing, whatever you like. You can also put some fresh raspberries into this. Now in the middle you could put some raspberry jam in between. Just whatever suits. Now if you have fresh raspberries, be my guest, put them on top. You can also put shavings of white chocolate on the top. Use your imagination, just enjoy it. Okay, so I've used fresh raspberries to decorate this cake, and I've used a 15 milliliter nozzle. You can use what you like, do what you like, use your fantasy, just enjoy it, and that's all I'm asking. So this was our first cake together. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you make it and then upload your photos, because I would love to see what you make. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate. I'll answer everything. Good luck. If you don't like buttercream topping, you can use a ganache. You can use whipped fresh cream with fresh raspberries through it. Just make your own thing, enjoy it. Now, if you want to keep this cake for a few days, I would keep it at room temperature. Don't put it in the fridge, because if you put it in the fridge, cakes tend to dry out. Keep it in a nice tin, cake tin, for 3 days. And don't forget to take the fruit off, because that fruit won't keep for 3 days in a tin. And if you want to keep it longer, make sure that you have it packed well and keep it in your freezer for up to 3 months.